Hi, I'm Nancy. Welcome to Mindful Yoga. Today, we're going to do a yoga session that has as its theme the breath to strengthen the body, the mind, and to calm the spirit. We get a little inspiration from Martin Luther King, who encouraged us to breathe fully and to act as needed. And then we'll be balancing the body from the imbalances that we gained from sitting, following some of the lead of Lee Albert, who writes a book called Yoga for Pain Relief. You might have a chair and a strap and a pillow, blanket, or block handy. So let's get started. Having a seat where 3 points can be weighted onto the ground, perhaps the knees and the hips, or the feet and the hips. Letting the energy come down towards the earth, lifting up through the spine, tucking the chin just slightly and long in the back of the neck as the crown rises. Shoulder blades resting down. Let's all inhale, big inhale, and a long exhale. Keep exhaling. Now let it back in. And notice how your diaphragm came into play at the lowest part of your breathing mechanism. It starts us into the Dirga breath, inhaling into the lower abdomen as the diaphragm expands, then expanding into the lower ribs, and swelling in the chest under the collarbone, then breathing out from top to bottom. Take a few moments to breathe deeply and rhythmically. Ancient yogis saw the torso as a pitcher, a kumbhak, and they put great stock in the retention at the top and bottom of that kumbhak, calling that kumbhaka. We're going to adjust our breathing, regulating our breathing so that we breathe in. So inhaling, 1, 2, 3, retaining at the top, 1, 2, 3, and breathing out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And continue with this breathing in, retaining at the top, and breathing out for twice as long as each of the inhale and retention. So 3, 3, 6 or 2, 2, 4, find your pace. Ancient yogis felt that in regulating the breath, we're strengthening the body, we're settling the mind, we're gaining control. We're letting our spirits come alive, ready to act when the time is right. One last full kumbhaka breath with the retention at the top. Then bring the arms down along the sides. Inhale as you reach out through your fingertips, shoulders, energy going to elbows and wrists, out through the fingers, coming up with a long inhale. Arms come up overhead, palms face each other or touch for a retention. And exhale down slowly. Two more times. Inhale up, pulling in the pelvis floor perhaps, and bringing the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth, towards the back of the roof of the mouth, bringing everything inward and upward. When you come down, just bring your hands to your thighs. Observe your body, mind, settling into this hour where there's nothing to be done. If there's anything high under your hips, remove that now. Perhaps come onto a blanket. Legs can be extended out in front or crisscrossed. You could even be in a chair for this part. Hand by the side, one arm reaches up, reach up, feeling length in the lower side back, and then come over into a side bend. Exhaling everything out. Inhale up and over, reaching up, exhaling over. And continuing. Martin Luther King says, "You may be 38 years old, as I happen to be, and one day some great opportunity stands before you and calls you to stand up for some great principle, some great issue, some great cause." And come back gradually through the center. Now extend one leg out, bring the other foot up beside the thigh and over. Usually we bring the knee towards the chest. This time we're going to let the knee relax away from the chest. Opposite hand gives a little bit of support to that leg, but we're just stretching through the side of the thigh now, not so much through the hip. The other hand comes back behind to the side, and the body turns towards that side. Just an easy spiral to begin with, lifting up through the spine as well as spiraling. And letting the body breathe. Release. The other leg extends out and the opposite up and over. Relax a bit. Opposite hand gives some support. Other hand back behind. Lift up and turn. And you refuse to do it because you are afraid. You refuse to do it because you want to live longer. Release and come around. I'm going to do an arm revolution, so bringing the feet in will probably feel better for this. Let the eyes come down to the fingers. Pulling those fingers up, following the fingers back as far as they can as you open the shoulder. Breathing up with the hand as it rises, retaining just the slightest moment at the top and exhaling down. And one more time round. And then back around the opposite direction just once. And down. Anything that needs modified that doesn't work for your shoulders or hips, please back away from it, letting the eyes now on the other side pull the fingers up. Breath making you strong and open. And continue 2 more times. King continues, "You're afraid that you will lose your job, so you refuse to take a stand. Well, you may go on and live until you are 90, but you're just as dead at 38 as you would be at 90. Strong words from Martin Luther King. And then come up and over. Now bring the arms wide, opening through the chest. Elbows are loose, wrists are loose, shoulders are relaxed. Inhale, long inhale, sustain, and exhale as hands come together in the front and chin comes down to the chest. Open up. A counter opening to all of the closing of the chest that we do during the day, as we do many of the activities that are important activities, but they sometimes close us up in the front and make us too long in the back. So the muscles in the front become shortened and the muscles in the back become long. So in yoga, one last time, open the arms. We try to counter some of our cultural traditions of the body. Now bring the hands down, hands come back behind the body, feet come wide, and we will let knees go from side to side with windshield wipers. Martin Luther King ends this quote: "The cessation of breathing in your life is but the belated announcement of an earlier death of the spirit." Now let one hand come around and pause here for a moment as those fingers point diagonally, maybe back towards that back corner. A little stretch, then coming across, pointing back towards the corner on the other side. And one more time at each side. It's like pause and stretch here. King seems to be saying, breathe, be alive, let your spirit be alive. Now coming to the other side, let your hands come down to the mat. You might bring hands on top of each other, elbows might come down, and your forehead might come down on the back of your hands. Letting the whole body have a nice big twist, relaxing down through the whole torso, the hips, the thighs. Inhale, push back up. And if this is awkward for you, you can always stay on your hands and keep your body upright, or you can come down. Part of the skill of yoga is learning how to adapt the yoga to your own body. One last inhale and exhale here. Press your way back up. Bring your feet wide, and let's turn the ankles. 5 times, 6 times in one direction, and then the other direction. Then toes pointing towards the ceiling. Let the feet turn from side to side. So the big toe comes in and then the little toe goes out, turning side to side. The ankle finding a different range of motion, our amazing joints that can do so much. Then we'll point and flex, point and flex. Bring the legs together, arms come out in front of you, knees are soft. As you lean forward, fingers come somewhere above ankles, shins, or toes. Then bring the feet wide, hands back behind, and lift up slightly through the hips. Come back to the easy stretch forward. Plant the feet, let the hips come up a bit. One more time, reaching forward, lifting the hips. Now firming the hands back behind you, weight in the heels and balls and fingers of the hand, shoulders strong, weight into the feet as you lift the hips up. Perhaps you swing them back a few times. And if it works for your shoulders and wrists, bringing the hips up, strong glutes, strengthening those muscles in the back that tend not to be strengthened in our culture, and coming back down. Now removing anything that's on your mat, let's come down into a lying position. In a minute, we'll be using a pillow or a blanket underneath, as well as a block or a pillow. So that's where we're starting, with a pillow or a block. First of all, just come down onto the mat. Let's take a long stretch, pulling one arm up, pushing that heel down, feeling that long body, and then the other side. Now bringing the arms along the side, wiggle the hips a bit, the shoulders, relaxed. Now lift the head just slightly and look down at your feet. Are your feet coming outwards? Mine definitely are, and that is what most people experience. And this reflects the fact that the outer thigh muscles are not as are a little bit too long and they're letting the feet flip out, and the inner thigh muscles are not strong enough. So we tend to need to strengthen our inner thigh muscles. So taking a block or a blanket or a pillow, whatever you have, to put between the knees or kind of between the thighs, just above the knees, bend the knees and come back, holding pillow or block, blanket between the knees. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, squeeze, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, relax. Exhale, squeeze, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, relax. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. And one last time. Now we'll go on to a bridge pose. If it feels comfortable for you to keep that pillow or block in between the thighs, please do so. Just giving a little energy to those inner thighs and keeping the knees parallel. If that doesn't feel comfortable, just try to keep the knees parallel. Tuck in the shoulders. Weight goes into the soles of the feet. Hips rise strong through the glutes. Hands clasp underneath the buttocks. Shoulders turn in a little bit more, using all along the arms to help support the body as it rises. Strong through hamstrings and the muscles along the back of the spine. For 3, 2, and 1. Relax the shoulders, unclasp the hands, and come down. Take a breath. We'll do that one more time. Weight into the soles of the feet, hip rising. Shoulders tucking in underneath you. Weight borne both by the arms below, the shoulders, the skull, and also those strengthening muscles in the back. Feeling the rise and fall in the belly. For 3, 2, and 1, and come down. Now remove the block or pillow in between your knees, and we're going to use a blanket or a pillow to be underneath the back for what's called a supported bridge. And if you'd like anything for your head, you could put a pillow or a blanket or pillow up there underneath your head. So my hips are on the mat and the upper part of my torso is on a pillow, and my head may come back on the mat or it might come on the pillow. Spread your arms out. They might be straight out from the shoulders or they might be in cactus. Again, anything comfortable is fine. The point here is to open the chest. And this will feel very gradual. That is what yoga asks for. Gradual openings, gradual stretch, gradual strengthening. Come back to your breath. 3 in, 3 retain, and 6 exhale. One more breath. This breath, this wonderful part of our being that we can control and regulate. As we control the breath, we control the mind. Rolling over, remove what's on your mat. Then come back down onto the mat. Bend the knees, bring the knees towards the armpits. Feet rise up towards the ceiling. Hands come to wherever they can, perhaps to the bottom of the feet or the ankles. And relax down, lower back, touching down on the mat. You might want to roll across the lower back, massaging kidneys in the back, the muscles. You might push up with one foot and then the other. Whatever feels good here. Then bringing the knees bent above the hips, hands come behind the skull, elbows are wide, hands are cradling the skull. One foot comes out straight, the other knee comes up. Or leg extensions, toning the abdominal muscles. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the legs down. With or without a strap or belt, you can just raise your leg and hold it with your hands, or you might bring a belt or strap around or a scarf around the balls of your feet. And this time we're just going over the midline, 4 to 5 inches, or maybe 2 to 3 inches. Knee is soft, and our emphasis here is on a gentle stretch on the side of the outer thigh. Stretching this muscle that gets so much really overuse, according to Lee Albert. It really encourages stretching through this muscle just as we strengthen that inner thigh. Then coming up, removing the strap. And if this feels particularly like something that you need, you might do this for 30 seconds at a time. Other leg goes over just 3, 4, 5 inches, just enough so you feel a little bit of stretch along that IT band from the hip to the knee. One last inhale and exhale here. And release down. Put any strap or belt aside. The right leg is extended out. The left foot comes up beside the right thigh. Hips go over to the left just a bit. Arms are out from the shoulders. And left foot comes up on right thigh. Right hand brings that left knee over. The body becomes an axis to just roll over. Coming into this supine twist, relaxing down through hips and jaw. Albert claims that this helps to prevent or aid a rotated pelvis, and again stretches through the outer thigh. Come back to some regulated breathing that allows you to breathe deeply and rhythmically. This deep rhythmic breathing relaxes the nerves that go to the muscles. Release. Come back through center. Left leg is extended out. Right leg bends. Hips go over to the right just a bit. Right foot on left thigh. Left hand bringing the right knee over. Consciously allowing things to relax and using the breath to soften through the body. Perhaps inhaling 3, retaining, and out for 6. One more breath. Release, and then rolling over, bring yourself up into a tabletop position. Hands are directly under the shoulders and knees under hips. Fingers spread. Good weight through the whole hand to support the shoulders. Inhale as stomach sinks and heart slides forward. Exhale as the tailbone comes down. Tuck the toes, arch the back. Inhale, open the front of the spine towards the earth. Exhale, open the back of the spine to the sky. Then one time in each direction more. When the breath is unsteady, all is unsteady. When the breath is still, all is still. Now bring the hands forward, knees back just a bit, and let the chest melt down towards the mat. Hips come high. They're just above or just behind the hips. Be careful of shoulders here, coming down just as far as is right for the issues you have. And if you need to come on to forearms, that's fine. Just allowing the heart to come towards the earth. And breathing. Then we'll come forward, starting with Sphinx. Forearms under the shoulders, fingers wide, gripping the mat, pulling back just a bit. That pulling back, allowing an opening from the intestines up through stomach and heart, up through the roof of the mouth, back of the neck, just its natural curve, anchored down through hips and the front of the feet. And breathing. Inhalation gives strength and a controlled body. Retention gives steadiness of mind and longevity. And this ancient yogi finishes with exhalation, which purifies the body and spirit. Now come down with the torso, hands come along the side, palms are up in the back. Inhale as head and shoulders rise and fingers reach back. If it's more comfortable, palms can be towards the body, that's fine. Inhale up, strengthening the back muscles, and exhale down. One more time, inhale up, retain for just a moment, and come back down. Now legs enter in. Head doesn't come up so far this time, just about the same as the feet, reaching back through fingers and toes, forward through crown, and exhale down. One more time, coming up to a place you can sustain for several breaths. And bring it all down. Now a choice here, you can come up into a cobra with hands under the shoulders, and it can be a small cobra or a larger one. Or you might bring the hands back just a little farther around fingers or around nipple area, pressing down into the hands, strong through the whole hands, up through the shoulders. And your weight then might be on the knees and feet in the back, or you might lift the knees so that your weight is on the front of the feet. Anything in this series is fine. Opening up through the front of the body. Then come up onto knees. Bring the right foot forward. Left knee is back a bit from the hip, so we get an opening in the hip flexor. Feeling the hips aligned across horizontally in line with the front of the mat. Thighs pulling towards each other just gently. Arms come up so that hands are above the head and fingers are almost touching, palms are up towards the sky. Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up, pushing up the sky, and exhale down. The shoulder blades relax down. One more time. Bring the arms down. We're going to go into a high lunge. You might be able to do this by having the hands on the knee and tuck the toe and come up, or you might want to bring your hands down onto the mat and come up, or you might even bring your feet together and come up. So either one of those is fine. Coming into a knee up lunge. Again, aligning the hips, pulling the thighs towards each other. The hand of the front leg reaches up, palm reaching up to the sky. The hand of the back leg reaches down, feeling that stretch between the heel of the hand on the top and the heel of the hand on the bottom. And then coming to the other side, reaching up, reaching down. Then bring the hands to the waist, turn the back foot so you're in warrior two position. So front toes forward and back foot at 30 degrees. Find your width that is most comfortable for you. Let the knee be right over the ankle, going towards the second toe. Firm through the feet, through the hips, and light and open through the chest as the arms reach out. Bring the back hand forward to the chest. Imagining a bow, take the string of the bow and pull it across the chest. Bring the front arm in and push the wood of the bow out. Staying for a moment. Then bring hands back to the chest. Back hand brings the bow string across, and the front hand pushes the bow out. Bring the hands back in. Windmill down, hands come around the foot in the front and come into downward dog. Feet back, weight of the hips back over the feet, knees are quite soft here at first. Broad hands, energy coming back, stretching back through the sides of the body, pelvis, hips, ribs, and head all in one line. Then come forward into plank for 5, 4, knees down if you wish, 2, and 1. Elbows come close and body comes down, come into Cobra, or perhaps up into up dog, yogi's choice. Then coming once again with knees under you, bring the left foot forward into a knee down lunge. Front knee over that ankle and back knee back a little bit to open up the hip flexor. Once again, feeling the balance here, bringing the hips aligned with the front of the mat and thighs towards each other. Arms once again come up above the head. Head is right over the shoulders in between the arms and fingers almost touching with the palms up. Inhale, push up the sky. Exhale, come back down towards the head. Let the breath strengthen the body here. One last time. Hands come down. Find your way up into a knee up lunge, using whatever strategy you need to get there. Bringing the thighs towards each other once again, finding your balance. The hand of the front leg reaches up, holding up the sky. The hand of the back leg pushing down towards the earth. Feel that stretch like taffy between the hands. And then switching directions, coming up on the other side. Now turning the foot, we're going to come into warrior two. Turn around so I'm facing you. Finding your warrior two. Firm through the feet and the legs, and the pelvis, light in the top of the body. The backhand pulls the string of the bow, elbow comes out to the back. The front hand comes to the shoulder and pushes out, stimulating the meridians through the arms and the fingers. Hands come to center, pull the string, and push the bow. One last breath here. And bring the hands together in the front. Hands come down on either side of the foot, and we'll come back into downward dog. Stretch back, hips coming back towards the wall behind you, knees soft, long spine. Come forward through plank. 3, 2, and 1. Elbows in, knees down, and a slight cobra. And we'll come up into a standing position. Feel the feet firmly grounded through all four corners of the feet. The heel pressing down, shins dynamic. A little bit of turning in through the thighs, opening up through the back of the hips. That loop of energy coming from the front of the pelvic bone to the back of the waist, a little space there, and then from the back of the waist up to the collarbone. So allowing length and space to develop in the body as the chin tucks just enough to let the back of the neck be long. Breathe for a moment, breathing up through the structure of the bones as you inhale. And as you exhale, allowing the muscles to relax down around the bones. Then inhale, arms up. Let knees and hips be soft as you exhale down into the stretch. Coming down, breathe deeply. Perhaps feel the belly rising and falling against the thighs. One last inhale down here. And exhale up out of the stretch. And come up. Bring your hands back behind your buttocks. Notice how, as you clasp your hands back here, your shoulder blades come together, your chest opens. Inhale. And as you exhale, soften knees and hips. Raise the arms behind just as much as shoulders allow. Any pain, back off. A little discomfort, you need to judge whether that's okay for your body. And then coming back up, strengthening the back muscles. And one more time over, opening the chest at the same time. Lifting back up, strong in the belly, strong in the back. Arms come up overhead. Knees and hips soften down, tailbone coming down towards the earth. Bring the hands out in front of you. Pull them back into the shoulders, strong in the shoulder girdle. Once again, come up, lift up with the hands, lifting the sides of the body. And then as you come down, plugging those arms into the shoulders, tailbone comes down. One last time, inhale up. Feeling the strength and steadiness of the breath. And as you exhale down, feeling that purification of the body. The exhale, letting the toxins out and coming around. Feet under hips. Inhale as shoulders reach up towards the ears, shoulder blades come together in the back, shoulders reach down and forward. And continue with this synchronizing breath and body. Control of the breath brings control to the mind. And then once again, coming around the other way, reaching up, holding in the shrug with shoulders up towards ears, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then letting everything go down. Take one more breath. As you inhale, bones come up, and as you exhale, particularly allowing those shoulders to relax down. Feet come a little bit wider apart as we come into a side bend here. And this, Lee Albert uses this to treat the elevated shoulder. One arm comes up, the other hand comes down along the thigh. Reach up through that arm and then come over, much as we did before on the mat, sitting down. And we're going to hold this. Let the nose be towards the front, head back right over the shoulder, right by the arm, ear by the arm. Inhale back up. Other arm reaches up. Stretch that quadratus lumborum between the ribs and the hip in the back and come over. Breathing. Letting the breath temper and calm body and spirit. Lift up. Now we're going to come into a curtsy side bend. This is a bit of a balance. So if you feel that you want a chair near you, that's fine. Just like any curtsy, when we were little, we used to curtsy, right? One foot comes back behind the other. You can be on the toe, but you don't need to be. You can have that whole foot down in the back. So you might have the foot just behind the other foot or farther back. Find what is right for you. Knees are bent slightly so that you can balance here with the chair or without the chair. Lift up through the body. Inhale the hand of the back leg up and come over. Release the shoulder blades down, shoulders away from the ears. For 3, 2, and 1. Bring the arm back around, and we'll do it on the other side. Finding your balance point on this side, knees soft. Raising up the other arm and coming over, using the chair if you need to. Feeling that lateral stretch. Relaxing the shoulder blades down, head right over shoulder. Breathing. And inhale back up. We're going to do a quad stretch now. The front of the thigh being very important to stretch, again, a muscle that we use a lot and that sometimes causes lower back pain when it's too tight. So bringing a hand to a chair or a couch or something that's near, you don't have to do that, but the point here is this isn't a balance yet. It's going to become a balance, but first our emphasis is on just stretching the quad. You can do this by bringing the foot onto the back of the chair, and this also gives the quad a stretch. Or you can catch the foot in your hand, bear down through that foundation foot, zip up the energy through the foundation leg, then pushing the foot into the hand for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then relax down through the knee, through the quad. Feel the relaxation going through the hamstring and the calf, the bottom of the foot and the toes. And breathing, perhaps in for 3, retaining for 3, and out for 6. Now, if you'd like to turn this into a balance, other hand might rise up, feel the bottom of the foot wobbling a bit, getting its balance. Then just a very bit of a diagonal lift with the knee in the back, just slightly, and the hand coming forward just a bit. So not going over far, just to give a little bit more stretch to the front of the thigh and coming up. And we'll do the other side. Using the chair or not, finding your foundation leg, strong foot, dynamic leg. Bringing the foot into the hand, pushing for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then letting that push go and letting the knee relax, the front of the hip relax, the shin, the front of the foot. Strengthen the foundation leg as you inhale up the foundation leg perhaps, and exhale, letting the other leg relax. One last inhale and exhale here. And release that leg down. Put the chair aside. Bring the hands to the back of the sacrum with fingers down and the heels of the hand up at the top of the pelvis. Squeeze shoulder blades together. Perhaps squeeze buttocks a bit here. Open through the chest. Let the eyes just go up to the place where ceiling and wall come together. And breathing, finding your rhythm. A gentle, gradual way to open through the chest. Now bring hands to hips. The right foot comes forward, the back foot comes back. There's some space between the heels. You're on little railroad tracks here. Front toes forward, back foot at 30 degrees. If you need to bring that more around because of hip issues, that's fine. Turning the hips so that they're aligned with the front of the mat. Bring the hands back behind the body slightly with palms open. Opening through the chest. Balancing between the feet that are well grounded. Eyes can just be out towards the horizon here. Let the breath bring the spirit alive, the heart open. Then for the first warrior one, we're going to bring arms up first, eyes still towards the horizon. Then rise through the mid breastbone, the mid sternum. Tuck the nape of the neck. Relax through the throat, adapting as you need as you reach up and open through the front of the body. Feeling that stretch from the back foot, across the front of the hip, and up across the chest. And bring everything down. This time, hands stay down, lift up through the mid chest, lift the gaze, tuck the nape of the neck, relax through the jaw, and then raise the arms. Noticing how the arms aid in this opening. If your head is back, carefully bring the head forward so as not to strain the neck, and bring it down. And one more time, everything together now. Arms, mid-sternum, rising up. Breathing deeply. And exhale, bring it down. Change the feet so that the left foot is forward and the right foot is back. Hips are aligned towards the front of the mat. Open the arms a bit behind you, palms forward, shoulder blades coming towards each other. Heart open. This is open-hearted warrior. All of this warrior talk is really the yogis trying to help the warrior overcome their small self. It's a war with the spirit to overcome the small self, to become bigger in the heart and the spirit. Inhale as just arms rise. Then rise to the mid-sternum, gaze rises, relax through jaw and throat. Exhale down. This time, leave the arms down, lead through the mid-sternum, tuck the nape of the neck, open the throat, and then bring arms up. Bring everything down with an exhale. Inhale, arms, mid-sternum, gaze, go up. And breathe here. From the back of the heel, up through the roof of the mouth. One last inhale and bring it down. Bring the feet together. And we'll come down to a lying position. You might want to bring your chair so that it's at the bottom of your mat that you're lying on. Oh, and actually having the seat face you, and this is optional. This is for Shavasana. So as you come into a resting position, you might be just flat on the mat, or you might have your feet up on the chair in a minute. First, coming down onto the mat. Stretch out. Wiggle the hips a bit, wiggle the shoulders. Come back to that breath, finding your favorite deep rhythmic breath. Then lifting the knees, bending them. Cross one thigh over the other. Lift the knees. Bring the hands to the calves or the ankles and gently draw the legs back towards the body. The back of the skull might extend back a little farther. Relax through the shoulders and the shoulder blades. Feeling a stretch through the sides of the thighs. Release, bring the feet down, cross the other thigh over the opposite thigh, again raising the knees, then gently drawing the legs back towards the body. Relax down through the jaw, back into the back of the neck, across the shoulders. Release, uncross, keep one knee bent with the sole of foot on the floor, and bring the other leg into a figure four with the ankle on the other thigh just above the knee. Do not raise the leg as we often do in a figure four. Rather, bring the hand with an open palm against the inner thigh of the figure four leg, gently pressing against that inner thigh, relaxing down through the hips, allowing a relaxation deep in the abdomen through the psoas muscle. It goes from the lumbar spine and connects down to the leg bone in the thigh. Relax down through the hips and the back of the waist. Let each exhale relax you a little farther. One more breath here. Then uncross the leg. Bring the other leg up, ankle on thigh in a figure four. Palm of the hand presses gently against the inner thigh. Relax through the calves, the hips, the shoulders. Slightest bit of power coming through that arm. Exhaling down, purifying the body, purifying the spirit. One more inhale and exhale. And bring that leg down and find your Shavasana position. A position where you can relax as much as possible. Option to bring your calves up onto the chair, arranging the buttocks and hips underneath so they're comfortable. Arms can be just along the side, perhaps palms are up. Knees might be coming slightly towards each other, and toes might be turning just slightly in towards each other, favoring the strength in the inner thighs, but no strain. Feel the skull heavy against the mat, soft through the back of the neck. Shoulder blades against the earth. A slight lift in the back. And the graceful softening of the hips into the earth. Relaxing down through the fronts of the thighs, the hamstrings, behind the knees, calves, ankles relaxed. Feeling the breath of the wind in the soles of the feet. Following that slight feeling of cool air up to the palms of the hands. Fingers open to the world. Relaxed up through forearms, soft in the eyes of the elbows, the tops of the arms and the shoulders. Coming into the heart. Feeling the beat of the heart. The gentle lift and fall of the lungs. Lengthen the breathing and bring some movement to fingers and toes. Perhaps roll wrists and ankles as we begin the journey back into our day. If it feels good, give your knees a hug. What intention would you like to bring from yoga practice into your day? If only the act of breathing fully. Then rolling over to the side or staying down in a relaxed position for a while, if that's what feels good for you. Come up to a brief sitting position. May we be healthy. May we be spacious. May we inhale and exhale fully. May we be willing to take a stand. Namaste. Great to practice with you. I hope you have a good day.